Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who may be new here, my name is Pretty. I am a photographer and educator based in Manchester, UK. So today's video is a very exciting one. It is my first time collaborating with a company slash product that I actually really love. Today's video is in collaboration with Dehancer. So they reached out to me last month ahead of my amazing trip to Gran Canaria, funnily enough. And they were looking for YouTubers to collaborate with. So they have given me free access to the plugin in exchange for like a hands-off review basically of the plugin, which is amazing because I've used it prior. You guys will also get a 10% off code should you wish to purchase this plugin later on. So what is Dehancer? Dehancer is a film-like color grading plugin which you can use for your digital photos, whether you've captured them on your smartphone and you're editing them on smartphone, whether you are capturing them on your digital camera, transferring them to desktop and then editing them, or whether you are shooting film as in video and then editing that. They support a lot of different platforms including Adobe Lightroom, Photoshop, DaVinci, Capture One. Yes, so I'm going to link the website below as well so you guys can have a further look into which softwares it supports or is available for. Right off the offset, even when I used this previously, one of the things that I really love about the plugin is the aesthetic of it and how user intuitive it is. As a Lightroom user, I have been using Lightroom for over, a very long time now, definitely over 5 years, if not 10 years. I've been doing this for a very long time. And I love the clean interface and it just works really well, really intuitive, and that really carries over to Dehancer's plugin as well, which is available for Lightroom, which is what you will see it being run on later when we do the tutorial. So that is right off the offset. Even within the plugin, when you are editing, you will, or I have found that the control that you have over the image editing is just, it feels like you are actually really slowing down your editing process to get that really fine film aesthetic that you would want in a lab, if that makes sense. Some of the tools that I found as well in Dehancer, which I haven't come across before on other platforms, is the Emulation, the Bloom, film grain I have seen, but it seems to edit a lot better within Dehancer, and I really love the overscan option as well. As a photographer that shares my photos not only just to social media, but I have my blog for business purposes, of course, and also for my client I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It's really nice to have that overscan feature to not only kind of see how that looks in my workflow, but then of course export it and it be available across other platforms too. So they've got some really lovely features on there which I just haven't come across before within one plugin, if that makes sense. The images that I have transferred across and edited were captured on my smartphone on the iPhone 17 Pro. I thought that the colours were just bang on. So within the Dehancer plugin, there are over 60 film types. You've got your Kodaks, you have got your Fujifilms, you've got your Ilfords, not just colour, but you've also got your black and white options, which, I am such a massive fan of black and white photography too. So it's really nice to have all that in one place as well. Overall, really love the plugin, highly recommend it. I'm going to show you some of the editing side of things and what that looks like when you use the plugin, and I'm going to loop that video in right now. Okay, so ahead of this demonstration I have transferred the images from my iPhone 17 Pro. These pictures were taken at Gran Canaria when I was visiting last month. So the reason I'm selecting this photo to show you within Dehancer how it's edited is because there is a lot of texture on this picture. There's a lot of colour as well with the greens, the browns, the blues, and so it's going to really show you how much of an impact this plugin is going to have on your photo. Please bear in mind though, as a photographer, you do, you know, ahead of taking pictures, you kind of see the end product before you photograph it, and you are kind of photographing with a certain vision in mind. So this particular photo I did take thinking that I would love the browns to pop out a bit more, and of course it's the blue sky, so I really was going for that film aesthetic ahead of photographing this. So let's go ahead and right click on this image, edit in, and then edit in Dehancer Lightroom plugin. What this is going to do is pop it in Dehancer plugin for you. It does take a few seconds for it to load, so it is a bit sluggish. I'm using a MacBook Air M4, just to give you an idea. It's not super slow at all, but there is a slight delay. However, it is a plugin, so this can be quite normal. So the image has transferred across. We are now seeing this in Dehancer. As you can see, the user interface is actually very similar to Lightroom, which is nice, as there's a bit of consistency when you switch over. Very, very intuitive, and I love that about this plugin. I haven't used this prior to editing a few other images, so even when I loaded it the first time, I was like, oh, this is nice. It's very user intuitive, very simple, and it has a lot of amazing tools that you will be looking for to give you more control over your final image. So this is the original photo that we have transferred across. It is the raw file format, shot on iPhone, and we are going to have a look at this user panel here, or the control panel. So within presets, you can go ahead and select these if you would like to, if you have a certain preset in mind, because let's face it, a lot of us are like, we love traditional film and we are trying to recreate that digitally. So we'll go ahead and click on sort by name, and then last edits. Bunch of them. As you can see, there are a lot of presets, plugins. Amazing. So I'm going to opt for, let's run with Kodak Portrait maybe. Let's have a look and see how we feel about that. So the Kodak Portrait 160, I'm feeling that. The 400 is one of my favorite films. Do you see how much of a difference it is just by a simple click? This is so close to the actual film finish you would expect. The Fujifilm as well, just for demonstration purposes. Let's click on the Vivid 500. This is more in line of what I had in mind actually for this photo, so let's run with that. Now on the right hand side here, you will see several drop downs. You've got your input, which has sort of like your simple settings like exposure, your temperature. As we carry on going down, you will see settings that you may not have seen before in other plugins or like editing apps that are meant to be, you know, meant to give you that film finish. Film Developer is one of them. We can simply switch it off as well. Doesn't make a huge difference there. It's when you start playing around with these settings that you will see a huge difference. So the contrast boost, there is the color separation. Now these sort of tools are what you would expect to find and to be able to do with traditional film. So I think it's amazing that Dehancer have been able to adapt this to digital and give you that control. Now, film compression, again, you'll kind of see that across multiple apps that you may have used. What caught my eye a lot was the color head section. This is something that you will come across if you are working in the lab. And I thought that was absolutely amazing that they actually give you this option to play around with. Again, with film photography and photography in general, there is no wrong or right, and with film photography specifically, it's so experimental. So you can have a play around with the color head on there. Film grain, again, you can push that, pull it like you would on traditional film. I think it's amazing. They've got the analog mode and the noise mode. Now, what really piqued my interest is that they have the halation mode, which I have not seen in a editing app or tool prior to Dehancer reaching out. So this really spikes my interest. So the halation tool, you've basically got full control over that, and you can really play around with all these different options to see how it makes or breaks your image, depending on how you see fit and the vision that you've got in your mind. Bloom is also another option which I haven't actually come across before. So you can switch it on and off, or you can really go in and play around with these options to see how it alters your image. I'm going to switch it off for the moment. Film damage, another one. I have seen this pop up in other apps and things, but I thought it really worked well, especially the hairs. Do you see how it's bringing back some damage to the film, which I really love that aesthetic on certain photos. And then we've got the overscan option. So it got really fun for me when I got to the overscan option as well. So as a photographer, when I am sharing to social media or even personal use, or to my blog, I love being able to curate and collate images in a way that is, I guess, a bit different. And so when I click on overscan, ta-da, it gives you, just look at that. Lots of different options again. So you've got the Super 8, standard 16mm, ultra 16mm. Do you see how much that transforms your image for presentation purposes if you are looking to share them online, and things like that? So I really love that. Again, bunch of settings that you can play around with as you see fit. And VNS is very sort of, you can see that in Lightroom as well, and other options. Now, when you tap on OK, once you have finished your editing, we'll click on OK. It will just take you back to Lightroom and your normal user interface, and you will have 2 copies of that picture. It says 1 of 7, as I was playing around with others, but you will have the original within there, like so, and then you will have your edited version, which is amazing. So that you would then just export as normal into whatever format and whatever size you would like. Brings me to the next question. Is Dehancer worth it? In my honest opinion, I would 100% recommend the plugin to you, whether you are someone that is starting out and want to explore film photography without the cost of physical film, because let's face it, it can get very expensive very quickly, or whether you are someone that has been photographing digitally for many years, I haven't really explored the film side of things. This is a great way of using film aesthetic in your work to see how it can better your style, and your signature look. Or maybe it's, maybe your client wants to see something in film version, as that seems to be getting quite trendy now, where clients do want digital aesthetic, but then they love to have that film. Especially I've seen it more and more within weddings, where they love to have like the 35mm option included, or even like the Super 8 video, that side of things. Having a plugin like Dehancer is a fantastic way to experiment without the overhead costs of film. Overall, I would say if you have been even thinking about trying to apply like a film aesthetic to your work, whether it be more experimental, just for personal work or for client work, I think Dehancer is a great starting point to explore that. It can really make the difference between like a standard image and making it more visually appealing, not just for yourself, but to attract new clients, if that's the sort of path you're taking with your work. Have you guys tried Dehancer? Are you contemplating trying Dehancer? Has it been on your mind? Leave a comment below. I would love to know more about where you're at with your post-production and workflow. Any questions at all, I am more than happy to answer where I can, and I will see you in the next video.